Hello. Hey guys. So, they asked why I started weight training and such, and what got me into that, and kind of just what job I have. So, I thought I'd go over it a little bit. Tried this a few times. Let's see if I can be more eloquent. so, probably earliest onset of actually beginning to train. I won't go through everything. I'll just kind of piece it like each little bitty piece until I got to here. To here. Um, as a kid, just probably reading through weightlifting, seeing weightlifters or something in regular papers you get from the mail and such. I think one of them was the earliest one was like in World's Strongest Man article that came up. I was like, yeah, that looks great. I want to do that. I came so close. Almost got to went to an airport, tried to pull a plane, got kicked out. Never tried that again. Um, yeah, I ended up crashing that one. No, but that one was an early effort. And as a kid, just generally being really like scrawny and such, you want to put on some mass, mainly because I was always frozen. So I was such a scrawny kid, like literally just walking. If you ever seen Ahmed, just like a walking skeleton of a human being. Oh God, I don't think I beat my baby weight till I was in high school. But yeah, going through kind of like I never was able to really gain weight at all, just in general. No matter what I ate, cake, didn't matter if it was healthy, unhealthy, a lot of food, I would shove it. But also on the problem of some family matters and such. Um, my mom didn't really know the food to give me, so I was always a really picky eater at the time. Even though a lot of kids are very basic, but she didn't know what to give me, and because I was mainly living with my mom at the time, I didn't always eat all the time. And it's not like that's not saying at all that they were starving me. They just didn't know what to feed me that I wasn't picky about. So I was very picky about certain foods and such. So for a while, I just was skinny. And I've always been trying to put on weight. You usually trying to make it healthy, but sometimes you just get desperate and like cake. Yeah, it's not a healthy way to go. But even if I do that, it's like gone the next day. So yeah, I'm one of the people who actually wants to gain weight, like with like some fat on me, um, and I know that's like I know that'll probably be like a trigger for people who want to lose weight, but everyone's kind of got their own thing. Whether you're trying to lose weight, trying to gain weight, it's all a different battle. They all have their upsides and the downsides and such. Mine is even though I give an outrage of like even though I do have like an outwardly good body heat, inwardly like what you feel, you're usually more cold. Um, but anyways, back to the back to what I was talking about. Yeah, very skinny. So I went through a couple of phases of actually training, probably pre high school. My dad and I got a bench for Christmas and such that we tried training on. How I was training probably in the dumbest possible ways, overloading or doing bad exercises very infrequently because I didn't really have that much like focus and such on it. It was like so very infrequently. And I didn't know anything about eating. I would just eat what I wanted. I would just eat what was fun or what I wanted to. So obviously that didn't really help. Later on though, when I found like my first, went to a school and found my first gym, and and then found a buddy who introduced me to actually how like nutrition, food play a part in helping nutrition, food, sleep habits, and actually a regular schedule and YouTube videos and such when I got a phone on how to actually do it the right way. So during the school such, my passion was just going to the gym for like an hour or two, and training and such. But my biggest inspiration for it is if you're looking at inspiration wise on like why even like starting and such, calm not really insecurity, just confidence is a big part, but also also it's kind of posture issues for a long while, mainly just due to bad sleeping habits and other stuff as a kid. So training, like my like back training and stuff like that, has always been important to me because of posture, of my posture. So a big part of it was literally just helping my body out. It just felt much better after I would exercise and feel good about it, and then and my posture improved, my spine improved, and I got less headaches because I've had a huge issue in the past with frequent headaches and such. So inadvertently, everything was helping each other. It wasn't like an insecurity issue. Like, it wasn't big enough, strong enough for that. I liked the fact that I was gaining some weight. That was great. It was mainly just to help my like gain weight, help my posture correction, get less headaches. It actually just made me feel better in general, so it really just gave a good feeling. So anyways, I went to school, got good advice. Went from there, started steadily gaining weight. I don't gain weight that fast, but it was steady. um, and from there, I came back. Took a little bit. There was a little bit of a mental breakdown due to bad people situations and such. But when I started up again, because I found there was a gym nearby, I trained at home for quite a bit with just regular dumbbells, weights, and such, and pull up bar. But when I found the gym, I went there. I started there, and started this. So the periods really of training wise, a little bit as a kid, but it's very infrequent. During high school and such, I tried to train such most day, like most days. I wasn't really eating or anything to gain weight, enough to gain weight. During the school program, I was going probably 4 or 5 days, probably like 5 days a week, maybe 6. Now I'm doing about probably 5 days a week and such. So it's been off. I would say regimen and stuff like it. It's been off and on for about 3 years. Like consistently to off and on for like 2 3 years. And this last 6 months has probably been the most consistent I've been for exercising and such. So yeah, most of my progress has been made in months because I've been able to get my eating habits correctly because I got a job, so I was able to pay for my own nutrition, my own stuff, my own gym membership. So it's all been working itself from there. I'm sure that wasn't like a point. I'm sure that wasn't the greatest backstory, like point A to point B to point C, but that's unfortunately I have to work on how I talk. I'm trying to be. I don't have a very loud voice either. I realize that. So when I get the mic, it'll be great, much better. But anyways, that's kind of like the timeline of going from one place to another. Never really insecurity. I had other insecurities for different, like mentally for different reasons. Still having some of them. A lot of it just to do with my like voice. Not how it sounds, just like my the fact I can't raise it to being heard. But it's not really none of it's really due to body insecurities like a lot of people do with body dysmorphia, which really does. It really is unfortunate and does suck. I don't really deal with much body dysmorphia at all. There's some parts where like you wish maybe you had better arms or like better chest or something like that. I know some of my genetics aren't the best at all, but I'm pretty fine with that, with everything. There's some things I'm like a stoked that I have genetically, and some things I'm just like I can't do much about it. it's just who I am. Like don't have the biggest like Henry Cavill biceps or anything like that, but I mean I'm okay. I'm fine with my arms. They'll grow as they do. don't have the best chest in the world or anything like that, but I still train it, so not really dealing with much body dysmorphia. It's more of just that image, like but showing it off like on camera and stuff like that, like for this YouTube, is definitely nerve-wracking as hell. Every time I do, I'm like, this is weird, this is stupid, people are gonna laugh at me. It's like, people are gonna think you're one of those Twitter posters who's just annoying as hell. Some people do, but it's just like, get over it. If it makes you a bit more confident and such that you're doing it, it's not like doing it so that people will say, "Oh my God, you have a great abs" or something like that. If you're just doing it because it makes you, I'm glad, because it makes me uncomfortable, and in a good way, not like in a challenging way per se. It makes me uncomfortable because I know it's like, you shouldn't be ashamed. Yeah, you shouldn't be ashamed of any of yourself, your body and such. So, yeah. So it's more like not being ashamed to, yeah, just like show your like. I'm trying not to say it to sound like, oh, like a way to show your skin on camera. It sounds so like a nudist beach thing, but it's not. That's not what I mean. But you shouldn't be afraid to to show stuff and such. Not like you should be flaunting in public or anything like that, but it should be, yeah, shame of what you got. So I don't have many of those, but yeah. Anyways, job wise, I work. So I don't know how much I've been rambling, but yeah. Job wise, I work for a pet store. I go in between what stuff I'm doing, whether I'm a stalker. Sorry, that word. Whether I'm a stalker, cashier, or actually helping with the animals and such. You go through everything. You can be a specialist and such during after a while if you choose to. So might do that. But for right now, it's kind of like the job while I'm trying to do other stuff like this. And I'd love to do something like this, like a fitness program. If it catches on, or if it doesn't, then I'll find another way to go. But I don't know how much of that I actually answered. My rambling skills do not function very well, but it'll get better eventually. By the time I die, I'll actually be able to give a monologue that people understand. All right, I'm gonna. Either this will be the one I send out, or I'll make a better decision and re-record.